Okay, friends, we are going to make a flip book to help illustrate all the different ways that we can make nouns plural. So the first thing I'm going to just kind of walk you through the steps. I want you to take a piece of paper. I want you to turn it like a hot dog so it's nice and long. And I want you to take the top over to the bottom and fold your paper in half. So I'm just going to crease it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to keep that fold there. I want to find where I think is the middle, and just lifting up the top fold, I'm going to cut a slit. So I'm just going to make sure I'm kind of in the middle. And I'm going to cut up to the fold and then stop. So now I've got two folds. So you'll notice the bottom's still intact. So I folded it over, I kept the fold, I lifted up the top flap, I cut to the seam in the middle. Now I'm going to take each of these folds and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm just going to try to find the middle again. I'm going to go right up to the seam. Okay, now I've got three folds, go over here, find the middle. Okay, so that's creating my flip book. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 flips. I'm going to open up and I'm just going to go ahead and trace the edge of the next flip. And that'll just kind of give me those lines. I'm going to open up the next one. Just kind of trace. Doesn't have to be perfect. Open up the next one and trace. So now I've got my 4 flips. And I've set up the space underneath. So now I've got 4 areas that fit underneath each one. So remember, you can pause the video and catch up, and when you're ready for the next step. Okay, so the main idea of this flip book is going to be plural nouns. And we know a noun is a person, place, or thing. And if it's plural, that means that there's more than one. Regular nouns, most nouns, you can just add an S. So we're going to go to the very, very first little flap or flip, and we're going to say many nouns So for many regular nouns, the rule is add S to the end. So when we think about just nouns, sometimes you're going to think, okay, if there's a vowel, so we're going to say also nouns ending with a vowel and a Y. So what are my vowels? A, E, I, O, U plus a Y at the end. So remember, A, E, I, O, U. So if you have a noun, most nouns are going to just add an S, including ones that end with a vowel and a Y. So we're going to show you some examples of those. So let's open up that first flip. So your job is going to be to come up with some examples. And so I'm going to give you a few, and then you can add a few more yourself. For example, the word dog is a noun. And we are going to just add an S to make it plural. Then one of the examples with the E, the vowel, and the Y would be the word monkey. There's a vowel and a Y. We're going to just add an S to make it plural. Okay, so after you finish setting up your flip book, I would like for you to please add a couple more examples that just add an S, and then maybe another example where you can think of where it's a vowel and a Y. Okay, so let's go to our next flip. So we'll make sure we finish that one. We'll come back to it. On the next one, we need to think about that some nouns ending. So if you're thinking about a noun and it's ending in these letters, X, Z, S, SH, or CH. If the noun ends in any of these letters, then the rule is you add ES to the end of it. So if you have a noun that ends with an X, you can't just add an S, you have to add ES. Same with Z, S, SH, or CH. So I'm going to open up that flap. And we're going to see if we can do some examples. So this will be foxes. I have to add an ES. I'll give you one more, and then I'm going to ask you to come up with a few of them. This time I'm going to do the CH. Beach. Beaches. So see if you can come up with ones that end with these different combinations. Maybe a word that ends with Z or a word that ends with S. This includes words that end with two S's, like glass. Okay, so I would like you to add some more examples, please. Okay, so most nouns we just add S, including the ones that have a vowel and a Y at the end, like monkey. If the word ends in one of these combinations, we add an ES. Very cool. All right, so now we have to think about nouns. Okay, these are ending with a consonant. Now remember, a consonant are all the other letters in the alphabet that are not the vowels, plus a Y. So over here, we're talking about words that end in a vowel and a Y. Here, we're talking about words that end with a consonant and a Y. Okay? So these are not vowels, consonants. Okay? The rule here is to drop the Y and then add IES. Sometimes I also explain this as you change the Y to an I and add ES. So you have to get rid of the Y, change it to an I, and add ES. So let's see, can we think of words that do this? For example, the word city. The consonant is the T, and then it ends with a Y. So in this situation, we have to drop the Y and make it IES. Cities. So can you think of any other nouns that you have to drop the Y and add ES? I'll give you one more, and then you see if you can come up with a few. A story. Stories. Okay, so you have a couple more for me there, please. See if you can think of some that have a consonant and a Y. Okay, so most nouns we add S, including ones that have a vowel and a Y at the end. Some vowels end in a special letter or combination of letters that require an ES, and you can hear it usually when you say it. Foxes, beaches. Some end in a consonant plus a Y, and so the Y has to become an I and add ES, like cities and stories. Okay, so we have one more new rule that we have to take care of. So if we see a noun or nouns ending in F, or it can be FE. Okay, so if you can think of a word that ends with an F or an FE, then you have to change the F to a V, and then add ES. Okay? So if the noun ends in an F or an FE, you have to change the F to a V and then add ES. Okay, so wolf. Change the F. Everything else stays the same. Change the F to a V and add ES. Good. We also have this one, look. There's the FE. So WI, change it to a V, add ES. Wives. See if you can come up with a few more that either end in F or in FE. Okay, so I would like to see you make your flip book. I need you to write the rules on the front. I need you to show several examples on the inside in addition to the examples that we've just done together.